Gusto ko lang pong sabihin unang-una, Mr. Speaker, the time of reckoning has come. Nakalagay po sa Matthew chapter 7 and verse number 2. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. Kung iniisip po natin na magagawa mo ang gusto mong gawin, na hindi mo sinusunod ang saligang batas, dahil nasa kapangyarihan ka, nais kong sabihin, Mr. Speaker, na matatapos din ang mga bagay na yan at ikaw ay hatulan ng taong bayan. Ito pong House of Representatives ay ang bahay po ng taong bayan. Sapagkat tayong lahat ay inelect ng taong bayan upang tayo ay magbusisi ng lahat ng katiwalaang nangyayari sa ating pamahalaan. I consider this a divine blessing to be able to rise today as the chair of the House Committee on Human Rights and co-chair of the Quad Committee to share the initial findings and recommendations of our inquiry, particularly into the extrajudicial killings that occurred during the previous administration's war on drugs. Inuulit ko po, Mr. Speaker, kakampi ako ng dating administrasyon kapag pinag-uusapan po ang pag-alis ng droga sa ating bansa. Sinabi ko po ito sa ating dating Pangulo. Ang hindi ko lang maintindihan kung bakit kinakailangan merong mapatay na more than 30,000 people upang mawala ang drugs na ito. Nawala ba ang drugs? Hindi. Nandun pa rin, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, there is a season for everything and a time for every purpose under the heaven, as made clear by the Lord in chapter 3 of the book of Ecclesiastes. This is the most opportune time for the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Public Accounts, and the Committee on Human Rights to present to you a progress report on our inquiry in aid of legislation. After 13 rigorous and thorough hearings of the so-called Quad Committee, we are confident that we have gathered substantial findings backed by competent evidence to make the requisite recommendations to this legislative body and to the appropriate government agencies for appropriate and decisive action. There was systematic violation of human rights and blatant disregard of due process. The deep probe into the extrajudicial killings, or AGKs, that occurred during the administration of former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte's war on drugs yielded a far deeper tragedy into the lives of the Filipino people rather than the protection and preservation thereof that it was heralded to accomplish. The numbers, Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, speak the scary truth. According to data from the Philippine National Police from July 1, 2016 to June 30 of 2022, 7,640 individuals were killed in official police operations. Of these documented deaths, 7,173 were drug pushers, 440 were drug users that should have been rehabilitated, not killed, and only 21 were drug lords. Mr. Speaker, from as far back as May 15, 2024, When my committee started digging into the EJ case, we had been presented with multiple reports indicating that there had been massive nationwide drug-related killings within the period July 2016 to June 2022. The killings were classified either as police operations or perpetrated by unknown perpetrators, which is no different from the Sinaloa type of killings in Latin America, which were notorious at the time, the drug cartel in Latin America. The 2017 year-end accomplishment report of the Duterte administration highlighted as key accomplishments, my dear Speaker, the deaths of 3,967 drug personalities and 16,355 homicide cases under investigation as of 30 September 2017.
It is my honor to present, together with my co-chairs of the Joint Committee comprising the Committee Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, Human Rights and Public Accounts, also known as the Quadcom. This progress report outlining the facts established, evidence gathered, actions taken, and recommendations for remedial legislation concerning extrajudicial killings, illegal drugs, illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators, and anomalous transactions involving local government units in connection with these unlawful activities. To date, the Joint Committee has conducted 13 public hearings and has obtained numerous testimonies of witnesses and documentary evidence in the course of its inquiry. Mr. Speaker, the Joint Committee has identified compelling evidence that necessitates prompt and decisive legal action by the appropriate government agencies, as well as urgent legislative intervention to enact laws and policies that will effectively address these critical issues. With respect to POGOs, the Joint Committee found a discernible pattern regarding their creation and operation. It starts with foreign nationals using fake documents to acquire Filipino identities, followed by land acquisition to establish POGO facilities. The construction of several buildings worth billions of pesos, the execution of lease agreements between two corporations with interlocking ownerships, followed by the application for POGO license with the Philippine Amusement and Gaming Corporation. This was also established that criminal syndicates composed of Chinese nationals pretending to be Filipino citizens operate within the country and are responsible for various criminal activities facilitated through POGOs, including human trafficking, internet scams, and money laundering. Some of these Chinese nationals have links to the drug trade. These POGO companies include Hongsheng Gaming Technology in the Baofu compound in Bamban, were facilitated by Go Huaping, also known as the former Bamban Mayor Alice Guo. Lucky South 99, situated in the Whirlwind Corporation, leased property in Porac, Pampanga, identified with Catherine Cassandra Leong and Attorney Herminio Harry Roque Jr. At kasama rin po dito si Sean Wei Technology owned by Alan Lim, also known as Wei Xiong Lim, together with his wife, Rose Nonolin. The findings of the Joint Committee have led to the filing of cases against Guo Huaping, Catherine Cassandra Leong, and Attorney Harry Roque, and several other Chinese and Filipino incorporators of POGO companies for qualified human trafficking. Money laundering cases have also been lodged against them. Aside from Guo, Ong, and Roque, the Joint Committee recommends that criminal investigations be commenced to look into the involvement of other key personalities such as Hong Ming Yang, also known as Michael Yang, his elder brother Yang Jianxin, also known as Tony Yang, and spouses Alan Lim and Rose Nono Lim into illegal POGO activities. As a result of the joint hearings, the Anti-Money Laundering Council was directed to apply with the court for the issuance of a priest order covering the assets related to the unlawful activities of Lucky South 99, Whirlwind Corporation, and Bian Cham Holdings. Furthermore, as a result of the findings into the illegal activities of POGOs, this representation and fellow members of the Joint Committee filed House Bill number 10987, or the proposed Anti-Offshore Gaming Operations Act. The bill seeks to establish ironclad provisions against the resurgence of POGOs in the country and repeals two laws related to the offshore gaming. Itago man, pilit man, ay kusa namang ilalabas ng tadhana ang katotohanan kung ano ang dilim sa likod ng operasyon ng sugal na ito na sumisira sa kaayusan at imahe ng ating bansa. Ang mga buhay na mapabanyaga man o lokal nating kababayan na kinuha ang kanilang buhay ng mga mapag-abusong tagapamahala ng mga pogo ay ibinubulid na ang kaluluwa sa impyerno. Direct and indirect participation in the operation of POGO must pay the price. Di po pwede nakalimutan na natin ang nakaraan at mag-move forward na tayo. We hope that the Executive Department, Mr. Speaker, through our President, Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos, will give justice to the families of the innocent people who are all victimized by these greedy crooks whose sole objective was to enrich themselves with POGO money.
Mr. Speaker, at the outset, I would like to express my gratitude to the leadership for allowing me to be a part of this endeavor, which I believe will greatly contribute to the nation. It is truly a great privilege to serve the country. The Joint Committee has conducted 13 public hearings and has obtained numerous testimonies of witnesses and documentary evidence in the course of its inquiry. After a thorough review of the pertinent information within each possession, the Joint Committee has identified compelling evidence that necessitates prompt and decisive legal action. On the part of the Committee on Public Accounts, this began with this investigation into the anomalous property transactions in Mexico, Pampanga, particularly those involving former Mayor Teddy Tumang and his assistant, Mr. Roy Gomez. It is now still at large because of the contempt order coming from my committee. The name of a certain Eddie Tayang surfaced, who sold land to the municipality of Mexico, Pampanga, at artificially inflated prices. In collusion with the local officials, Mr. Yang purchased agricultural land, then had it reclassified as commercial, industrial, to increase its value despite lacking the necessary legal requirements. To give you an idea, Mr. Speaker, the parcel measures 10,000 square meters as the lot was classified as agricultural at the time Mr. Yang acquisition. Its price per square meter was approximately 300 pesos, consistent with the prevailing rates for agricultural land in the area. With the lot reclassified as industrial, Mr. Yang sold it to the municipality for 29,500,000 pesos, or 2,700 pesos per square meter. This is why we investigated this issue and discovered that it has long been a modus operandi within agricultural lands are classified without following the proper process. Mr. Speaker, this is just the tip of the iceberg. As we have received numerous reports of similar cases happening across the country, the tactic involves falsifying Filipino citizenship to purchase land and establish businesses with these individuals holding influence over certain local politicians who have sold their integrity to these illegal Chinese nationals. Because of the aforementioned findings, the Joint Committee came up with several remedial legislation to address the issues, and namely House Bill number 11043 and House Bill 11117, as mentioned by Chairman Ace Barbers. These bills are vital in addressing the growing threat posed by influx of foreign nationals involved in illegal activities, including those connected to the POGO industry and other forms of corruption. Through these legislative measures, we intend to strengthen our national security, uphold the integrity of our citizenship laws, and protect the Filipino people and our land from unlawful foreign influence. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, I urge the members of this esteemed body to fully support these measures, and as they offer essential steps towards securing our national sovereignty, protecting our land and resources, and ensuring the integrity of our citizenship laws. By enacting these measures, we take a strong stand against the exploitation of our systems by foreign nationals and criminals, and we create lasting solutions to safeguard the interests of the Filipino people. Let us work together to protect our sovereignty, uphold justice, and strengthen the rule of law for the benefit of the future generations. Before I end, Mr. Speaker, once again, let me stress, for Chairman Barbers and myself, we are not running anymore in this forthcoming election. Ano po ang para sa amin? This is all about for the love of country, to protect the future generations. Kaya po, ang panawagan, tuloy ang Quadcom, tuloy ang laban. Maraming salamat po.